It's getting a little dark here, but it looks like the video is still working okay. It's almost like we're doing night vision here. And it looks like it's moving kind of slow. I'm a little blurry. Blurrier than usual. Okay? So, but hopefully the information's coming across. You're going to want to have your browser out for this one for sure, because there are some links on it. We're going to start right on the links. So we were talking about committees having jurisdiction over a specific area, that each committee has control over a specific policy area. So if you go ahead and click on the link where it says House Committee on Agriculture, okay, and if it's taking a long time, just pause this, or if I start talking about it before you get there, you can just pause me and then wait until you're on it and then start me up again. But if you go to the House Committee on Agriculture, what you'll see is this is the committee itself. This is their web page, and if you go over, like if you look on there, it says home about, and if you put your cursor on about and you go down to where it says members, click on members, and then what you'll see if you scroll down a little is first you can see the guy on the upper left. His name is Frank Lucas. He's from Oklahoma. He's the chairman of the committee. And then the guy immediately to his right is a guy named Colin Peterson. Colin Peterson, see where it says ranking member? What that just means when you call somebody the ranking member, that just means that he's the head, in this case, Democrat. The Republicans have a majority in the House of Representatives. So as it turns out, and I'll talk about this more in a second, every chairman of every committee in the House of Representatives is a Republican. So the Democrats are always the ranking members. That just means that whatever party's not in power, the top guy on the committee is called the ranking member. So 4 years ago, the Democrats were the majority party. And so Colin Peterson was the committee chairman, and Frank Lucas was probably the ranking member. That's the way they do it. And those are the members of the committee. Now, if you go to over to where it says home, let's see, where do you go? Go home and click on that. And I think it's, if you click about, let me see where it is. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just leave it at that and we'll just continue on, and I'll make this point elsewhere. So don't worry about that. Just let's go back, and I just want to show you another committee as well. So if you go back to the web page, the lecture notes, and go ahead and take a look at the lecture notes and click on the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. So go click on that. Right now, notice that the committee in the House is called the Agriculture Committee. The committee in the Senate is called the Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. But they basically do the same thing as many of the same things as the Agriculture Committee in the House. And so the committees aren't always in the House and the Senate named the same. Sometimes they have different names. And if you click on about, if you put your cursor over about and then click on where it says membership page, oh no, as a matter of fact, click on about and then go down to where it says jurisdiction. See where it says just below about, you'll see where it says jurisdiction. Click on jurisdiction, and what you'll see there when you get there is it says the following, under the word jurisdiction, the following excerpt regarding jurisdiction is taken from Rule 25 of the Standing Rules in the Senate. It says the following standing committee shall be appointed, and blah, blah, blah. And then it says, starts to list all the things that are under the jurisdiction of the Senate committee. Agricultural economics and research, agricultural extension services and experiment stations, agricultural production, marketing, stabilization of prices. I don't even know what some of this stuff means. Look down to number 8, food from fresh waters. The food stamp program, number 9. The food stamp program is actually run out of the Agricultural Committee. Home economics, human nutrition, pests and pesticides, anything having to do with any of these topics. If there's somebody's passing a bill that has to do with any one of these things, it will be handled in the Senate committee, the Committee on Agriculture, Forestry, and Nutrition, or Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. So they have, and each committee has its own set of rules that spells out very, very clearly what its jurisdiction is. Now it looks like it's getting really dark, so I'll finish this one up, and I'll either go inside or maybe get a candle out here. So each committee has its own jurisdiction, right? The area that it's responsible for. Now go back to the lecture notes one more time. Most standing committees also have something called, I'm going to move a little closer to get closer to the light. Sorry to scare you here. I don't know why I'm whispering though. Most standing committees also have what are called subcommittees. Okay, and the subcommittees, what they do is they have like a more specialized jurisdiction. So whereas you saw that big long list of things that the standing committee does, then what they do is they take that long list and they say, okay, this subcommittee is going to handle some of these, this committee is going to handle some of these, this committee is going to handle some of these. So go ahead, and that's what I mean by a more specialized jurisdiction. They handle just a small number of issues. So if you go ahead and you click on where it says House Committee on Agriculture again, but now we're talking below where it says more specialized jurisdiction. If you go ahead and you click on that page, you'll get to the subcommittees on the House Committee on Agriculture. So pause this if you need to. And once you get there, what you'll see where it says subcommittees, and they list the different subcommittees. So first, there's in the center under the word subcommittee, it says Subcommittee on Conservation, Energy, and Forestry. Then there's a subcommittee on Department Operations, Oversight, and Credit. There's a subcommittee on General Farm Commodities and Risk Management. Then there's a subcommittee on Nutrition and Horticulture. There's another subcommittee on Livestock, Dairy, and Poultry. And then there's another subcommittee on Rural Development, Research, Biotechnology, and Foreign Agriculture. Each one, and then if you see below each one where it says jurisdiction, it lists the actual jurisdiction of each of these subcommittees. So the subcommittees all have their own area that is like their specialty. If there's a bill, for example, having to do with livestock, dairy, poultry, meat, seafood, and seafood products, inspection, marketing, and promotion such as commodities, aquaculture, who knew? I have no idea what the hell aquaculture is. Aquaculture, animal welfare, or grazing. Grazing is not a huge issue in California. Well, not in Los Angeles at least. It's going to be handled in the Agricultural Committee and in the Subcommittee on Livestock, Dairy, and Poultry. So every subcommittee, every committee or standing committee, or most of them I should say, have some subcommittees, and the subcommittees have their own little special jurisdiction. And if you take all of their jurisdictions, all the jurisdictions of the subcommittees together, and you put it all together, it's like we're doing this by campfire. This is bizarre. This will be the last one I do like this. By campfire. So let me get back on track. If you go ahead and you take all the different jurisdictions of the subcommittees and put it all together, all those are the jurisdiction of the standing committee. Now the people on the subcommittee, the people who serve on these various subcommittees, are the people who are on the full committee, on the permanent committee. So there might be 60 members on the permanent committee, and then there'll be 15 members on one subcommittee, 15 on another, 15 on another. But all of the members of the subcommittee are also members of the full committee. That's the way that works. So, and I have a link over there to the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, and they have the same setup. They also have that same setup where they have a bunch of subcommittees. You can go ahead and click on it and take a look, and you'll see the setup is the same thing, and each subcommittee has its own jurisdiction. So the Agriculture Committee, or the Committee on Agriculture, has a whole bunch of things that it's responsible for. And then what they do is they divide all those different things up into, like in the case of the House Committee, into 6 groups. And they say, okay, you guys are going to handle dairy and livestock, you guys are going to handle farm commodities, you guys are going to handle aquaculture, whatever the hell that was. And they divide up the responsibility. Okay? So if that, I know that's kind of like unfamiliar. We're talking about sort of committees and jurisdiction and all this kind of stuff. So if you have any questions about this, be sure when you're done, what you might want to do is sort of watch the video one more time, or just write down your questions right now. Like if you're like, I don't get this, or I don't get that, write them down right now. Don't wait. And then you can either, we'll either talk about them in class, or you can email me. If this is a hybrid, if you're watching this and you're in a hybrid class, you can email some questions to me, and I'll answer them for the entire class. But if we're in a face-to-face class where we're meeting on a regular basis, come and just talk to me, or you can ask questions in class. But write them down now, because this is really complicated stuff. It really is, and it's hard to explain. And oftentimes your questions will sort of help me explain it better. And on top of which, I assure you that if you have questions about something, other people do as well. And so your questions are going to help your colleagues. They're going to help other people. And then no more of the campfire lectures, unless you guys tell me that you like this, which then I'll be like, these guys are kind of weird. Okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to go back inside where there is light. And then we'll pick up on why Congress is organized in committees. Okay?